jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Hey, once again, you're tuned in to World Combat Sports. Hey, big salute to everyone that's out there. And, my salute is, a lot of people ask, my salute is being, proud military and everything. And, just to give you a warm welcome, make you feel wanted, make you feel welcome, rather. And to the podcast, of course. And, it's WCS Media. Multitasker, you know what I'm saying? Boxing, MMA, and the whole gamut. So I appreciate everybody who understands what I'm doing. I know a lot of people have been talking about all the content I put out there. I don't think I should have did it any earlier. I think it's good to build up a portfolio with enough content. And, just put it out there whenever you feel like it's cool. I've placed content out there before, but it's never been in mass like it is now. And I haven't even touched. Like, I have so much content left out on these hard drives. It's just I have to go through them. I haven't even started with my videos yet. Like, I have videos that I never even posted before. And when I post them out on IG, I think it'll be better than me posting them on YouTube, to be honest. Definitely getting more traffic on IG than YouTube. But hey man, you know what it is. You come in the building, do me a favor, hit the like button, share the content if you feel like it. You know what I'm saying? If if your elbow twitching a little bit, shoulder. Let's talk about the Brian Custer interview. Brian Custer, I'm actually older than Brian Custer. Good guy. Met him several times and, chopped it up. He is the host of the Last Stand podcast. And it's one of the better podcasters out here. Why? Because I look at Brian Custer as a polymath when it comes to this media biz. Brian Custer can talk basketball. Man, he's a multifaceted voice out here in these streets, man. You know how much time it takes to study and keep your craft on a level of mastery to be able to go in front of the camera and be accurate and punctual with what you know. Forget the producer notes. This man have to cross thread, retain knowledge, and be able to go in front of the camera and express it into the fans, man. That's crazy. Dude is amazing. Shout out to Brian Custer, man. So let me see who in the building. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen. Those of you that's in the building, you know how many I got on deck, right? And look, I got 5 on deck and I have 5 likes. That's what I'm talking about. See, I already know the ones that's in the live chat. I know the organic supporters that's already here. Andrew Charles, the first on deck, man. What it is. Salute to you, big dog. What's good? We're gonna get into this interview that Brian Custer did with current reigning defending unified super welterweight world champion Jermell Charlo. The reason why I believe this interview was epic in a sense is because Charlo has never placed himself in a position where like you've witnessed with this particular interview. It's always been on IG. It's always been in some type of erratic situation that many of us adults can comprehend as being rambunctious. You know what I'm saying? Very belligerent. And he's a good fighter. For real. Mel Charlo's a good fighter. The Charlo brothers are good fighters. They just haven't. Hold on for a second. I can't believe I heard that. They just haven't made it to the pinnacle where they had a fight that will help them change levels. You know what I'm saying? To help them further ascend into that realm of greatness in boxing. They still waiting on that. But god damn, boy, this interview was crazy. Oh my God. I know what y'all thinking. Say what is WCS coming up with this type F? I'm gonna get into that, bro, because my imagination is just a little. That shit is funny. You know what I'm saying? I have different strands to my imagination for real. But Brian Custer interviewed Jermell Charlo recently, and I'm gonna play some sound bites from it, and I'm gonna give my take. Why? Because I think it's one of the better interviews for Jermell Charlo, placing him in a situation of exposure, vulnerability, just to allow the fans to connect with him better. Not many fans are able to see Mel Charlo in an interview like this and him have no idea the way that he's coming off on this interview. I don't place this interview extremely on the side of a oh shit moment, but it's close to it. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, boxing isn't based off, character flaws and shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that you can get away with in boxing because that's just the way the sport is. You have people from all walks of life in this joint. Jermell Charlo just happened to be one of the more significant set of twins that are competing in the sport. They was also world champions in the same division as super welterweight at one point in time. Now, you have Jermell Charlo, who's a unified super welterweight champion, and brother Jermell Charlo, who called himself Big Charlo. He's a two-weight division champion, WBC, at middleweight. But this interview was strictly about Mel Charlo. You know what I'm saying? Because he said a lot of things in here that, I just look at it where he should have had some type of assistance, next to him, or I don't know, man. It's hard to register how much counseling or how much preparation it would have took for him to join a podcast like The Last Stand and for him to go on the way he did. That's why I have that type F out there. You know what I'm saying? The type F I'm going to get into a little bit later. I just don't want to give it away just yet. I just want to hear this interview. I want us to talk about it. All right. So I'm going to drop the link down here. Teach on deck, Ghost on deck. What's good, man? Andrew said Brian does good interviews. Charlo clearly had a lot he wanted to say. And we're going to get to that, Andrew. Obviously, you was paying attention. You know what I'm saying? God damn it. Shout out to DC Mike TV, man. Shout out to the man himself. All the way from the DMV, dog. I be looking at your content there, DC. Salute to you, brother. Much respect to the work the hard work you putting in out there, bro. Appreciate you pulling up there, DC Mike TV, man. We're gonna go through this process and kind of tune in to what Charlo was, getting off his chest, because Andrew was paying attention, obviously. It seems like Charlo was actually at a release point. And he needed this platform to release a little bit. The man seemed stressed the fuck out, dog. I'm not going to lie to you. Charlo seems stressed. You look in his eyes, man. You know, his eyes were a little red. That could have been from training or lack of sleep. He don't have a fight coming up. It could have been from his his 9 month old. You know, because having newborn babies, man, they keep you on the clock. Not that circadian, but they keep you on their clock. You know what I'm saying? They keep you on their clock. And it just seems like he just had a lot to talk about and he wanted his audience to listen. So let's get down to the first half of it, big dog. And you know what? Brian Custer face on the thumbnail, it says it all on how this interview was. You know what I'm saying? Jack on deck, man. I see you. Let's get it.
Great to have you back on, man. So here we go. March 19th, you were supposed to have the rematch with Brian Castano for the undisputed championship of the world. This is a fight that was supposed to happen in February 26th. It gets pushed back to March 19th, and now all of a sudden he messes up his bicep, and they say it takes at least 4 weeks to heal, things of that nature. Just your thoughts when you got word that Castano got injured and said, "Listen, I got to postpone the fight."
Well, my first thing, I think like a fan too. You know, I love boxing. Boxing is one of my favorite sports. So
Now I just want you to take a gander, right? Pay close attention. Right at this entry, Charlo looks refreshed. You know what I'm saying? Look at his eyes. He looks refreshed because this is the beginning. This is the inception of the interview now. This is the most this is the point where he begins to churn, you know what I'm saying, and start to gather his thoughts and start expressing himself. He looks refreshed, don't he? You know, he doesn't look too stressed out or anything.
the first thing I thought about was like, this BS. Straight up. Nothing else could tell me this is more BS than BS. First off, they have a manager who's a trickster, you know, a very, very big trickster. And he plays a game where he the same guy that tried to play the Madonna trick on Floyd Mayweather. The same guy that came to the commissioners before I fought Castano and said, "Hey, your gloves are wrong." And, that's his manager. But let me tell you, he was highly intoxicated. They barely could keep him under control. They got him under control, and then then all of a sudden, I ain't said this to nobody in the world. I haven't done an interview with nobody ever. I don't do interviews too much because people get my words misconstrued, and I've learned. Now I'm 31 years old. When I started doing interviews, I was 20 something. I started boxing at 17 professionally, but now I'm here, and I'm just thinking to myself like, you know what? That's the game they play. When you're a tough guy, you don't care what nobody thinks or says. Automatically, they're gonna put you in there. Hey, Charlo won't even care because he
Now, in my opinion, like when he started off the interview, he was just basically lightly, entering the engagement process. It was light work. It was light. It was very light. Now, at this point in time in the interview, to me, it's the turning point on when Charlo begins to be extremely talkative and he starts to get pretty much he starts to dig deep in whatever's going on. You know what I'm saying? Whatever onus that he's holding on to, whatever's been on his thought process, you know what I'm saying? His mental metric right here. I don't know, but you can tell when he start to really get into the conversation and he starts trying to explain to people who he is, because there's some frustration going on. And it doesn't all have to do with boxing. This is some frustration that's going on behind the scenes too. Hey, Bruce Gold's in the building, man. What's good, OG? How you feeling?
he's a warrior. Yeah, I'm a warrior. Of course, I'm a warrior. But now, I think outside the box. I asked for legal drug testing. I asked them to drug test on Tuesday, and then all of a sudden I think a Thursday, he pulls out the fight. I was told to be quiet. Sorry, I can't be quiet. Can't be quiet when you holding all of these belts in the back, and you know your life is on the line, and your family cares, and everybody that is around you care. So then I started thinking like, hold on, I must speak up. I said, you know what, it's gonna be all right. I got an interview with Brian Custer coming soon. And I'm gonna let it all out. I'm gonna let him know how I feel. So I'm not here to down or diss nobody. I'm just here to speak facts. And from the beginning, I already knew it was a problem. The last fight that I had with him back July 17, 2021, we only drug tested one time. And that was before I asked, I asked one of Al Heyman's advisors or people that represent Al Heyman. I say, hey, why aren't we being drug tested this whole camp? The whole camp, nobody came. You know what they told me? They said, hey, Charlo, you were supposed to request for that a month ago. Never have I requested for a drug test. Months and months go by. Rosario fight, Lubin fight, my whole career being number one in the WBC. WBC, I'm mad at y'all. Because y'all said y'all a clean sport. And if anybody fight for y'all titles, y'all gonna make sure they.
Can you see this? Can you see the shift in his energy? Now, I don't have a problem with Jermell Charlo advocating, for how he feel about the WBC, but he needs to understand this sport has been about the dirty side of the hocus pocus. It's been that way for quite some time now. It's been a lot of tricks. It's been a lot of magic. It's been a lot of deceit. He should understand how that works. Adrian Broner has been on the record. You know what it is. When he was freaking facing Manny Pacquiao, he said the exact same thing. He was like, man, I ain't being tested. Y'all testing? What's going on? These cats ain't testing me. They tested him. What's good? And that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? This kind of made me reflect back on that day when Adrian Broner popped up and started talking about no drug testing. So you can tell how quickly Jermell Charlo has shifted gears, in his temperament. And that's very important to note. And also, I want you to pay attention to Brian Custer's expression. You know what I'm saying? Brian Custer has concern on his face too. You know what I'm saying? This is a very, very knowledgeable man who's done various interviews, and he has the puckered lips going on. He has the squinting expression lines in his forehead. You know what I'm saying? That's just not the way we used to seeing Brian Custer. All right.
I'm not. I don't care what they do. I'm a warrior. I'm a lion. We gonna eat what we eat. Sometimes the blood ain't as good as we want it to be, but you know what? I want a fair shake in the boxing world. And we barely drug tested for the last fight. They still complain about my gloves. They making me come out and talk like this. Now we deep in camp. I'm sparring. I'm training. I'm getting my tour bus out here, getting it all wrapped up so I can go back and forth to Dallas to train with my coach. I'm just doing everything I can, spending my money.
So did you hear what he just said? He said he was getting his tour bus, his bus right, so he can go back and forth. He can start going back and forth to train with his coach. So that means Derrick James is not in camp, like that, on a regularity for his camp. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Showtime for making mention of that to me. You know what I'm saying? Weeks earlier, he said it weeks earlier that Charlo wasn't training. Derrick James wasn't in town like that training Spence or freaking Charlo on a regularity, on a consistent daily basis.
Sparring partners, training. One of my guys, one Gooseman, he's in town. I have Derrick James coming in and out of town. We all spending money. We all taking a risk and a chance for our career. Derrick told me the other day. Derrick said, Jermell, don't follow these conspiracy theories. And I say, you know what? You might be right. Let me read.
So I have to halt that right there. Because from my understanding, Derrick James is jumping outside his scope of responsibility. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with grown men. You ain't training little kids from the amateurs to transfer over to the professional league. You're dealing with grown ass men. Somehow, some way, Derrick James has this phobia about talking to media. Now, it's okay for Charlo to get on here and talk to Brian Custer. But for Derrick James, he shouldn't be impressing that upon his fighter, talking about conspiracy theories and all this shit. It is conspiracy in boxing. If you're a boxer and you don't have any type of notion that conspiracy exists in the sport, then you totally clueless. You're absolutely clueless. It's absolutely conspiracy in this sport. You know what I'm saying? And just listen to how Charlo is all over the place, man. He's just spinning the web, dog. He's just spinning his own web. He's getting a lot off his chest, bro.
Relax, very upset. I'm hurt. I felt like I was in trouble. I felt the guilt of every type of way I could feel just because I felt like I let so many people down. But now all of a sudden he's hurt. But I'm lying only, baby, and we're gonna have them fans and we're gonna have those scholars and those models and all those people out to do their job. He's trained. He's trying to use one hand like he's not using the other hand. But he's working out. He's doing videos. He's showing out. I'm trying to find it right quick. He's doing videos showing out that he's training. Unfortunately, those people don't even know to keep their nose clean because they would have never posted him training. These are videos of Brian Castano. He at the park. He working out. But if your bicep, and it's the right bicep that's injured, it's the right arm completely because I realized that one day he didn't have a glove on. So he working out, he doing all of this training. This is from his coach. So y'all need to follow him, Brian Castano, because that's the one that exposes you, your own people. And I'm upset about that because y'all wanted me to sit down and be quiet and then not train and worry about a fight coming up. They want me to be quiet and not say nothing about all of these things. But behind the scenes, before I knew it was a month approaching, so I contacted a bunch of people and I said, hey, can y'all please make sure y'all doing the proper drug testing? Now, I spoken with Al Henry yesterday personally. He said, hey, drug testing will be heavy and it will be in depth. So I trust Al. Al is my guy. He's never failed me. And if you know Al personally, like I know him, he leads you to the victory. That's it. So at the end of the day, we're gonna go in and try to knock him out when we can. I don't have a date. I don't have a time. I don't know when I'm fighting. But
Did y'all just hear that? They don't have a date for the Castano fight. There's no date. So like I tell people all the time, you really don't believe all the headlines you read out here because there's no date. He just says no date. There's no definitive date out here for this fight to take place. Look at Brian Castano's face, man. It's almost like he's at a funeral, or he's witnessing somebody being, in a predicament, which he feels sorry for him, but he can't do anything about it. Like Brian looks sad, and a lot of people are gonna look at this and they just gonna speak on it, and they believe it's a healthy freaking podcast. And it's not the first time he's been on here, but this podcast right here, it just seems like it's a lot that he's trying to cover. He's not even allowing a dialogue to happen. Right now, this is considered a monologue, people. This is a one-way traffic. You know what I'm saying? And Brian Custer can hold some very thorough interviews. But when it comes to this right here, I think more so Brian is just looking at this as like, maybe I should just let him talk. Because if I cut him off, it's probably going to turn on that switch and he's going to get ticked off.
right now, this is like a fighter at the beginning. I feel like a fighter that just started the game. Like we 0-0, and I'm trying to build my career up. I don't have someone paying me monthly to take care of. Shout out to ASRB. I don't have somebody paying me monthly to take care of me. I take care of myself. I'm good. Thank God for the price that I'm already put in. But to jump right back into it, I don't understand why. I never get a fair shake. Tony Harrison, he pulled out the fight when we was getting I had my loss. Tony Harrison pulled out the fight over an ankle injury. He goes online and do a bunch of interviews, and he can't keep his nose clean either. He admits that he faked the injury. He never had surgery. And of course, Brian Castano's injury isn't surgery, a component for surgery. It doesn't need surgery. Okay. So now it's about healing process. But he's still working out and running. He's swinging that arm, that right arm that supposedly he didn't use to train. He's swinging it, I hate to, be the guy to pull up things because I gotta stay on the facts. Me watching Brian Castano, I got fans. Fans are gonna tag me in things. Fans are gonna let my team know this is all BS. They want to see the fight just like I want to fight. So I got videos right now of Brian Castano using the left arm, only the left arm, throwing hooks. But the right arm he's not using. He's keeping it stable. And I know if you have a bicep, slightly torn bicep, you would have it taped up, wrapped up. Don't go tape it now, Brian. Ain't no point in taping it now after I already recognized it. So, but I'm happy. You know what? I'm a warrior. I'm ready to fight.
So
whenever they can.
Let me ask you this, Mel. I think the key question is, A, do you believe that he really injured his right bicep, or is it B, do you have a feeling that maybe it's because you have a suspicion of PED use?
Well, I have a several. These guys are from Argentina. Not to talk bad about an Argentina champion or a warrior. Anybody that steps in the ring is a warrior. I mean, anybody that steps in the ring for their family is doing what they can. But when you know the risk is very high and your reward might be a little bit low, you'll try to find every type of way to take an advantage, And
That I can't understand, right? Your risk is going to be high, your reward is going to be low. Nah, his reward is going to be high if he beat you, Jermell Charlo. He's going to get the belts. He's going to be undisputed. His reward is extremely high. You know what I'm saying? Extremely high right now. Real talk. His award is extremely high. That's if he can pull it off. But for him to say, Argentinians, being the Floyd Mayweather fought Marcus Maidana twice. Yeah, they had the glove issue, but we all know what happened with that. Floyd won both times, and then Maidana made so much money that, he was pretty much able to walk up out of the sport, parasailing. He didn't look back. You know what I'm saying? He show up every now and then to show his face, and then that's it. That was rumor mill that he was coming back. But anyway, for him to basically highlight Argentinian fighters, I mean, that's going to rub people the wrong way. But at the end of the day, they have to step through the ropes and get it in. And, do I believe, or can I place some type of trust in what he's saying about Castano just pulling out? Because I don't know, man. I can't sit up here and say, yeah, he pulled out because he was coming off a cycle. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's for whatever reason he pulled out, but yet he's still out there working out. It might have been. I don't know. You never know what the conversation's like behind the scene. You don't know how a fighter like Jermell Charlo might have a mole. He might have a mole somewhere over there. Money talks. It can be an Argentinian, that's over there giving Jermell this data, this intel. Real talk.
if you can't beat me that way, you'll try to beat me this way. If you can't beat me that way, you'll beat me this way. So he ain't taller than me. The reach ain't longer than me. We the same age. We weigh the same. I'm literally, thinking logical, And so I'm losing my mind trying to figure it out, and that's why my coach said don't believe in this conspiracy theory, but I'm believing like a warrior. I'm believing like a real lion in this situation. So it's like I don't believe he did PD, and if he did, he's gonna. You could take steroids for 6 months, 6 weeks, and let that go through your system. Rehydrate, wash it out, get it clear before they start testing. I asked to be tested more than once in this situation with Ron Castano. I've spoken out about us being tested. I'm a clean fighter, and I represent only clean fighters. So if you're kidding me, whatever's done in the dark gonna hit the light. So that's one thing. I believe personally he didn't sustain the injury that he did. Sparring partner here from the Woodwards ain't nowhere on that level I'm on. He should never even been sparring with him. You need to go find another sparring partner because the homeboy he sparred with he can't mess with the half of a fighter that I am. So, and I'm gonna knock him out if he ever get in the ring with me. But we could be sparring partners. I'll spar with him, but only if he, you know.
That's interesting. He said he'll spar with him because a little secret squirrel told me that they reached out to Team Charlo and asked them for work, and they was told that they're already world champions. So he's willing to fight Castano, a Castano sparring partner to knock him out. And he wouldn't even fight this part. I mean, he wouldn't even get this fight to work. But anyway, back to the task at hand. You know, Jermell Charlo is getting a lot off his chest right now. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty much ranting about, Pez. And look, who am I to sit up here and totally ignore the fact of WBC being one of the most controversial sanctioning bodies? Now, you can't throw the race card out there because goddamn Oscar Valdez, he got caught. He was caught. You know what I'm saying? So I have to put, that don't mean overall that they doing what they supposed to do. But was it some type of ulterior motives behind him pulling out? We don't know, bro. We don't know if it was ulterior shit going on. We don't know if they had something behind the scenes that they had to get straight with Castano first. They didn't want him to just totally be stripped of that WBO title. We don't know. So for Derrick James to speak to him, he's just giving him like this comfort type of reply. You know what I'm saying? Because he know who he dealing with. He know the scale of temperament that he's dealing with. So he's just trying to say, hey man, don't believe everything you hear. Don't be a conspiratist, bro. You got a big fight coming up. Don't be a conspiratist. Just lock in, man. Stay focused. That's what it sounds like to me. It don't seem like any true, genuine words out of concern to kind of, provide that relief that Jermell Charlo needs. You know what I'm saying? As a coach to fighter. And then I don't know for sure if he absolutely respect Derrick James like that to even listen to advice from him. I don't know.
Look good, and I'm talking to the Virgil kid. The Virgil kid ain't never had no skills like me. I got this from God. Virgil or whatever. I don't know the name of the guy. I know his name is Ortiz or something like that. He can't talk nowhere close to the skills that I got. Terrell Garcia can't. He can't beat Luther. He need to rematch Luther. The junior welterweight division is all jacked up, but there's only one king in the division. We know who he is. We looking right at him. We see him, but I'm only speaking facts of who I really am. So I know I might seem a little comical to you, but I'm very serious because I'm speaking with my heart because these guys aren't putting in this hard work, with all this climate change. I'm getting a chance to experience the cold weather when I go running now. It's a lot of things that I believe in that these people don't understand. They got to wake up their minds. They only using 5% of their brain. I'm using at least 12. They say a human uses only 10. But I feel like in boxing, I'm really using all.
Brian Custer, he had to crack a smile with that shit. Oh my God. He said they using 5 and he's using 12. That was comical for real. This interview is very thorough in a sense that, we get to see another side of Jermell Charlo speak without cussing and screaming and yelling and going on an absolute tirade, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is a calmer version of him ranting and venting or whatever. That's all. It's just a calmer version. I know he want to drop the N word. I know he want to say mother F this, that, and the other. He wants to. Well, he's being calm, dog. He's still all over the place. You know what I'm saying? He's not frenetic, but he's close to it. You know what I'm saying? He's staying cool, level headed, and he's giving up some content.
All of my tasks and traits that I have. Brian Castano is not to me injured. He might be personally. This is how I personally feel. He overweight. He can't make the weight. It's gonna be hard to make this weight. He's gonna drain himself, and then all of a sudden you come out of nowhere with a white bicycle. when you running, you stride. You're using your arms. I just showed y'all the video. Slow it down. He's stride. That's the same bicep that you do. But Paco is WBC president, WBO, WBO president. I ain't got no relationship with him at all. But I'm trying to get their belt because I'm fighting under the 4-belt era. And I wish I didn't have to go that direction. But I would be an undisputed champion as of right now. Because I got the linear champion. I'm not all the other champion. And I see all the little young guys, the little small guys want to come up and fight. And I understand it. So right now
he just said the small guys, and we all know who that is. You know what I'm saying? It's only one small guy that's really trying to fight him. Even though DSG say he wanted to move up to 154, it hasn't really been any signs of activity yet. And then also he's beginning to bleed over into the subliminal shots of Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? He feels some type of way about that. And one thing I can tell you, he don't have to worry about Terrence Crawford coming in overweight. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be punctual, for real. He's going to be in attendance. So now he's going to start changing and sliding in his other concerns. You know what I'm saying? He don't never get a fair shake, though. That's his thoughts.
I'm doing everything I can. I know. Paco Wynn has said that if the fight don't happen, it's because of Team Castano. I'm only giving y'all artifacts of what I know from what's been happening to me in the last couple of days. So, y'all the first interview I've done in the last maybe 15 months, 18 months. I don't do interviews too much because of, look, I'll sound like a problem. I sound like you can't even talk to me, Brian. You barely even.
I like this part of Charlo. Like, I don't know if he's having a nervous breakdown or what, but he's at a midpoint right now. He's at a midpoint, man. I don't want to say he's at a breaking point, but he has a midpoint right now where he wants to bring in Brian Castano to show some type of sensitivity. He wants some type of embracement. He want Brian Custer to feel where he's coming from deep down inside. You know what I'm saying? This is it right here. Jermell Charlo is just digging and he's just shoveling out emotions right now. He's just shoveling it out, man. He's deep down there in that pit. He's just shoveling out emotion. And Brian Custer, being the OG he is, he's just sitting there listening, keeping his tone silent at the time. And he really want to ask some questions, but he sees like, damn, why not just go ahead and let Jermell Charlo talk?
I'm trying my best to let y'all talk and ask questions, but I have to express what I got on my heart. So I don't.
What he has on his heart.
Like, man, it's not easy. I feel like he's cat, yard cat, and I'm hurt by it. I'm not. I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm still training. I'm still posting videos and be working out. Don't nobody's let down on the line. So one day I'll be a promoter, and I hope I end up getting fighters that have my same drive and passion for the sport of boxing, because I don't want the sport of boxing to be let down. I'm gonna give it all I got, and I know, there's other fighters that's great out there. But sorry, Brian, go ahead. Do you think that?
No, I was going to say, but have you gotten any indication if there will be a rematch between you and Castano? Will the fight be put back together? Because I know there are a number of the sanctioning bodies who want you because you got 3 of the belts to fight your mandatories. So will you fight Castano next, or will it have to be one of your mandatories and win?
Well, I got a very clear understanding with IBF. Those are the main people push up for the mandatory. The mandatory has already stepped aside and accepted his bread that he received, and he's understood. I'm gonna knock him the fuck out if I have to, but I want it very clear to understand that I'm not here to fight my mandatories. It's all about making legacies and making dreams come true. And if I have to fight a mandatory, I would fight a mandatory. But we have to find out what's up with the BS. And this is the second time this happened to me, so I got experience now. So the mandatory he is there. He is in the way a little bit. I appreciate IBF for being able to coincide with my management and his management. And I appreciate the guy that's the mandatory. I don't know his name. I've frankly never seen him fight before. I know he fought him on undercard, but I appreciate him.
Check this out though. You know, with a lot of fighters, man, they act like they don't know fighters' name. You know what I'm saying? You know Brian Castano. Why? Because you know that's the guy who has the WBO strap. Now, I'm pretty sure you have a pretty good awareness as to who this other fighter is that received bread. That bread was extracted from you. So therefore, you know who your IBF mandatory is. It's just at this point in time, these fighters don't want to ever give somebody who's like George Kambosos. They don't want to give him no shine, really. They just saying, you know what? We gave you step aside money, and we're not up here trying to boost you up. Because real talk, if he would have said his name, then people would have started looking him up, and they would have been like, you know, following him, trying to see what he got going on. So Jermell Charlo say he received the bread. You know what I'm saying? He got the bread. But yet he indicated that he'll knock him out in the same sentence.
For giving me the opportunity to try to become a legend and become pound for pound eventually. I don't think that the mandatories are in the way of any sort. I don't want to fight a mandatory. I want to go straight into a fight with a champion. And if there's one belt left, it only logically makes sense to go ahead and attack that one belt. So I don't, God forbid I have to fight a mandatory. You know, I wouldn't be interested in that fight. I hope they pay me twice or triple quadruple as much money as I would like to fight. But
yeah. So let me ask you then. Yeah, people will ask this question. The first time you guys fought, it ended in a draw. You both had some really good moments in that fight. You know, people will say, "Man, he rocked Charlo in that fight." Why will the second fight be different?
Well, first off, let me explain this to you. He did get a good shot in. He didn't rock me, you know what I mean?
So I want you to pay attention. Are y'all looking at the way Charlo's demeanor is much different right now? I don't know what he has in the cup, but I'm gonna be very careful with my words because these individuals on here that you know the Aerospence freaking sugar in their tea kind of drips over into Charlo. You know what I'm saying? They get that like that carbonation. I should say carbonation. You know what I'm saying? Their soda that they drinking for Aerospence kind of bleeds over to Jermell Charlo. So now if you listen to the fireball that Brian Custer just mentioned about Charlo being rocked, Charlo didn't give him that immediate aggressive reaction that we used to seeing with Jermell Charlo. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get that spear. We didn't get the tip of the spear. You know what I'm saying? That was dripping venom. You know what I'm saying? Dart frog poison. We didn't get that. He's very, very calm. His eyes look different. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's just extremely calm right now. He didn't get pissed off or nothing. I don't want to jump to no conclusions or anything like that. But to me, it's much different than the first part of his interview. You know what I'm saying?
You know, every boxer will say, "Oh, no, 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 no." I have actually really, really watched this fight. What he actually did was got his best shot off, you know, and it was a clean shot. It was flush on the face, but it wasn't necessarily a shot that's made me feel like, woo, I got to give this guy some different respect. You know what I did do? I made an adjustment right away and said, hey, let's get on our bike. Let's fight from the outside. Let's be smart. So the crowd, I love y'all. Y'all did an amazing job. I love the support that the fans give me. I love the support that they don't give me. But the crowd seems to me in this fight particularly that they made a big statement, you know, how they showed out and how they came. If they wanted war, and I wanted to give them war, I wanted to be active. I'm not afraid of no man. Nobody's ever hurt Brian Castano. I hurt him more than he hurt me. The draw, to me, is bullshit.
So let me emphasize, he hurt him. Mel Charlo said he hurt Castano more than Castano hurt him. All right. So therefore, we have to look at the adjustment. What influenced your adjustment, that Jermell Charlo? Because lines only mean the line. I ain't never seen a lion kind of fight on the outside. So if you feel that Castano didn't have the power to hurt you, and you felt that it was innocuous, then therefore, as a lion, you should have pretty much took advantage of your prey. It's that simple. You should have pretty much took advantage of the whole situation, because your moniker is lion only. Lion. I just never seen a lion this on the landscape, on the Serengeti, that's out there hunting for food. I never seen them just run into another lion or whatever, and they just want to damn move their feet and say, I'm making an adjustment. I'm gonna fight them on the outside. I'm gonna get this other lion tired first, and then I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna show him how technically sound I'm out here in this jungle. You know what I'm saying? The Serengeti's all mine, lions only.
That fight, just like I had the first fight back in the day. I'm sick of doing myself that way. I'm sick of not being able to, your car say 220. I'm tired of not taking the car to 220 because I'm afraid that the engine gonna blow. Not even if the engine gonna blow. The engine, this engine ain't gonna never blow. Because that's why we took that train before we fight. We're a train. We not on engine that's like a little car.
I get it. I mean, we know y'all for that. You know what I'm saying? The car with 200, I can understand that. My mentality is the same from running bikes. The time that I actually went over 200 miles per hour, I wasn't even satisfied. You know what I'm saying? And that was on a whole nother mindset, you know what I'm saying, of what he's talking about. I understand how he's trying to use the analogy of saying, you know what, I need to go in there and leave it all in the ring. That's what I'm getting from Jermell Charlo. He's becoming a bit delirious. One sentence he said he needs to fight smarter, and then the next sentence he's basically mad at himself for not being able to take that vehicle to 200 miles per hour. If you want to go in there and go 200 miles per hour, you definitely need the gas tanks to do that. You know what I'm saying? Right here down in the ATL, gas is like $4.50. So be careful how you press the gas.
So what I'm saying is, I feel like I didn't give myself, the best of me, because I'm very preserved. I'm very, patient, not trying to just go crazy. This is the fight that I think that I want to get tired, to push myself as much as I can to get tired. I feel like I didn't do enough. He had his spurt of the moments where he threw punches, but you got to make smart decisions. Do you go in there? Do you hit him? Do you go in there and try to throw a combination?
That's what lions do.
Get back on the outside and outsmart him when he can't. He's not athletic like me. He don't have the athleticism.
That's what coyotes do.
Box and punch at the same time.
Coyotes, they forage from the outside.
I feel like that's what led the draw. It wasn't in the crowd, them listening to the crowd. I wish these judges could put headphones on, or something that can noise cancellation, so where they can really focus on what's really going on in the ring. There's a lot of times where I'm moving my hand, I'm slipping punches, catching here, I'm punching, boom, 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 and I'm different. I'm different with my hands, like I pause, like I feel my claws on me. So they act like a scratch can't draw blood. I'm a lion, baby. A scratch from a lion can draw.
So I'm not confused at all. Right now I'm pretty much right beside him. Whatever his thought process is and how he's roaming through the jungle, I'm right there. I'm just maybe about 20 feet from him. You know what I'm saying? Because it can get a little bit hairy. When he started talking about a scratch can make you bleed. Absolutely. But last time I checked, boxing gloves are closed. You know what I'm saying? They're not open finger gloves. So, his method to scratching in a glove You're gonna have to do some type of manipulation, like Luis Resto did to Billy Collins. You're gonna have to alter the glove, put holes in it, have the leather frayed in a certain position. You know what I'm saying? Some bullshit like that. But noise canceling headphones, scratch. It's not like it doesn't make you bleed. I think right at this point in time, his listeners are like scratching their temple. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much just scratching their temple right now.
Strong blood. I throw a jab at the man, a simple jab, boom, it hurt him. Nobody say shit about that. You know, they gotta really, really go back and critique the fight. One time I did a show and they set me down and I had to slow the fight down. How about Showtime come out of nowhere to do that episode with me? Slow this fight down and let me judge it. And then you come back and let Brian Castano judge it. And then if you ask him at the end of the night, who won that fight? You gonna say Jermell Charlo, then what we gonna do? Have a whole big, Jermell should have won the fight? I don't got time for that. I'm a warrior. I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna beat me. And I'm gonna do a lot of different. They ain't getting me on the ropes. That's done. I thought, okay, be comfortable, fight off the ropes. I had a lot going on at that time. My son was in my room, sleeping with me the night of the fight, because that's what I wanted.
Newborn. Wasn't it like 2 weeks? 2 weeks or like 2 weeks old or something like
2 weeks before the fight. And then I felt like I might as well take him into the fight with me. But I didn't take him to the fight with me. I took him in the fight mentally with me. My baby almost 9 months, 10 months old now. So now, hey, it's a different ball field. I can give my all, my sleep, my rest, and my focusness to my son. They fucked up just off of that. They can't even mess with me just off of the fact that I get more sleep right now. And I know Brian Castano probably out here working hard, trying to train, taking steroids, what the fuck you gotta do. That ain't gonna benefit him.
You go for your kid, the Brian Castano taking steroids. I mean, we're talking about two different energies of chaos. Yeah, a baby can keep you woke, but I've seen your home. It's very luxurious, very nice. You don't have money for a nanny to somebody to know that you're going in here with such a big fight to take care of your newborn for real. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not being insensitive, but when I was in combat, my son was just born, y'all. They still told me I was going. They didn't give a damn about him, him just coming out. They still sent me over there. Still, I had the paperwork. I'm still floating around, buying baby stuff. Nah, you going. So for him, part of me is just not saying that, okay, you had your baby in the bed. That's your newborn. Yeah. But you got all that money. You could have said, you know what? It's not like he's going into a foreign country. It's not like he's going over to Russia to fight, doing a conflict. He's going to the ring. He's going to train. Your baby's young enough to the point where he has no indication. He can't even fathom what's going on. He can't. He's never going to remember it. He don't know. So him using that, I don't get it, because that's not your first kid. You got a 12-year-old that you're dealing with for custody. I mean, this is not the first child. So you had something going on. You have all this money. You could have, had a nanny, make sure you was comfortable, got your sleep, got up for training camp and everything else. That doesn't, to me, that it doesn't register to me as something that, could have kept you from going in there and performing your best, because you said you're lying, but yet you want to make an adjustment. And then you say that you didn't get your all. You didn't put your all into it. You could have did more. So we maybe need to digress from the lion mentality and think more of a finicky fox. I don't know. You might be a finicky fox or something like that. I don't know if you at the level where you can say lions, when they walk up on prey, they really sit there and think about it. And during that contemplation, they say, I'm going to work on the outside with this guy. He's trying to take over the pride. Fuck it. I know he's going to kill every one of my youngins. I'm just going to use my wits and go in there and try to be very smart. No, that shit don't happen like that.
Making complaints. If anybody was gonna pull out of a fight, you know it was gonna be me. I was sick about 3 weeks ago. I ain't tell nobody. I was sick. You know, I fought that and kept it moving. I ain't gonna go and ruin my fight. I'm gonna fight this fight, no matter what comes. So if something happens, you know, right now to this very day, I've been going back and forth to court for custody battle for my son, my 12-year-old son. The world don't need to know that. They don't need to know what hey, just know I'm working on. I got real life I'm dealing with too. But you won't see me pulling out of a fight or making 2 weeks or 3 weeks come and then I can't fight. No, that's not fair to me. You know? But in real life, I am who I am. They all consider me bleed an angry male, the angry twin, angry whoever. No. I'm a happy person on the inside, on the outside. I love who I love, and if I don't love you and I don't give you respect, that's because you don't deserve it just yet. So I'm patient with that. Castano, he running up, he barking up that enemy trait, you know. And I want to treat him like an enemy. And so when I fight him, that's the only thing on my mind. I don't want to fight nobody else. You know, I hear y'all Argentinians. I hear you Argentinians. I hear you Augusta. I mean, not Augusta, but the Australians. I understand I'm not losing out here want to prove a point. I see Jerry Hurd that got knocked out twice or beat twice. I know all the smoke. I see y'all took y'all trains when I walk by. Baby, I'm looking good. I see your little light boys coming up from 147. Y'all got a little name and you're making your name for yourself. Your Crawfords. Then your Crawford. My dog live in Omaha. I know how Omaha roll. Y'all ain't never seen no real shit like this shit here. Now, I like Omaha. There's some studs over there. Now, I got highly respect for all of them. But, nigga, you got some real business to handle with them other 147 pounders. Y'all got to go out and get out the way to mess with me first. We don't know how many fights we got left. I'm not here to chase that. I'm here to chase one thing, and that's to become undisputed champion of the world at a high weight division. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do it at 160. I don't know if I'm doing it at 154. Right now, at 154, I'm that guy. And I've been here on Maine for all of these years. It's time they put some respect on my name in the boxing world. And I'm going to stand up for who I am. And
I just have a quick question for Jermell Charlo. Like, when you found out Errol Spence was entertaining the notion of letting Mikey Garcia that was coming up for 135, did you really have that conversation with him just like you just told us? You know, about the light boys trying to come up there and see you? Because Mikey Garcia was a 4-weight champion, one more than Terrence Crawford. One more than Terrence Crawford. That's absent of a unified division for undisputed. So therefore, if you get an individual that wants to fight you with a name, because listen, a lot of people will tune in and see Terrence Crawford fight Jermell Charlo any day of the week. Any day of the week. This fight can be on a Wednesday and people are going to tune in. Believe it. Because you already done took an L against Tony Harrison. But Terrence Crawford, they just waiting and hoping. You know what I'm saying? They're waiting and hoping. Why? Because it's a fantasy world. It's Fantasy Island down there at freaking welterweight division. You have, him about to step in there if he makes it to Udenas Ugas, but we really don't know what's going on. I hear Terrence Crawford signing with Probellin. And if that's the case, then that will only allow him to link up to make this fight happen if Errol Spence defeats Udenas Ugas. But we shouldn't sit up here and put too much emphasis on the Jermell Charlo. We shouldn't play as if it's something that hasn't happened before. It's all new to you. If the youngins, not the youngins, the light boys, as you call them, want to move up division, it's nothing that we haven't seen before. You know what I'm saying? It's seriously, it's nothing that we haven't seen before. Your stable may allow Mikey Garcia to come up there and face him. I'm pretty sure you weren't deterring him. You was probably saying, "Oh man, Mikey good. Man, he undefeated too. Oh shit, look how many professional fights he got. Yeah, we're gonna make some money. I mean, you gonna make some money off that, Arrow. Good call." But then a brother want to move up. Then all of a sudden, it's the, oh, you got people you need to deal with. Come on, bro. Mikey Garcia wasn't undisputed when he moved up for 135. He did unify, but he wasn't undisputed. At least Terrence Crawford was dang undisputed before he took the move up to 147. That's factoids.
Stand for what I represent. Now listen, I sure wish I could be the guy to fight Canelo. Canelo, come to 158. I could easily make 158. And now I'll put a boxing lesson on him. Just as great as Floyd Mayweather did, the great, you know. I mean,
if y'all didn't see this video, I didn't mean to just drop it, but Brian Custer actually cracked a smile. You know, he was kind of giggling, you know, and he probably thought it was hilarious that Jermell Charlo, he being Jermell Charlo, would even think about anything that the thought would trolley across the mind of Canelo Alvarez to come down below 160 to face Jermell Charlo. That's insane, bro. That is insane for him to even mention that shit. For Canelo to bypass Mar Charlo and weight drain himself and come back down to middleweight, a division that he absolutely abandoned. It wasn't even a short sale. That shit was foreclosed on by Canelo, and he moved the fuck on. He left all his furniture down there. Come out and get it, whatever. He didn't fucking care. First of all, they goddamn elevated him to franchise. That was one piece of furniture he left down there at 60. So therefore, you think if he abandoned 60, he's going to return and peek in the old foreclosed home with the broken windows, and people think abandoned ain't no lights on in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? You got goddamn Triple G in there shadow boxing himself, rocking in the rocking chair. You think Canelo's gonna come down to 60 to play around with the lower brother in 54? When the older brother, when Maul is still at 60? That absolutely make nothing. That has nothing to do with the equation. Your brother was trying to call out. He is trying to get a fight with Canelo. You are saying, hey, come down just below 160. Bro, y'all are twins. I really do think right now that Maul is Big Charlo. Because your mindset right now is that you're 154 pounds. So therefore, you're not willing to risk saying, you know what, I'll face him at a catch weight of 165. Because you say you'll put a boxing lesson on him. So therefore, if you're a lion that you speak so highly of, you'll move up to 165. You'll do what Sugar Ray did. Sugar Ray moved up to face Donnie the Blonde Lenon, I think 168. And both of their titles was on the line. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Y'all talk about being great and everything, but yet you don't want to do what the greats did.
I didn't say it at all. Now I don't understand what they got going on. Just pay me my bread. My brother can fight him at 160 and whatever the case is. And all these other guys. I'm the 54 champion, baby. Not the other one, but you know what? I'll put these hands on any one of you brothers. Straight up.
Let's talk about that because, obviously you got the fight with Castano, and you said that you want to be the undisputed champion. So you feel at 154, that's the last line of business for you before you think about your future, whether it's moving up or what have you. But yes, you alluded to it. Bud Crawford already said, hey, look, Errol Spence tried to win that fight for long. If he don't want to fight me, then I want to fight Jermell Charlo, Brian Castano winner. What's your take on that?
How about he do his best to go fight Errol Spence? Then shut up, take a little bit less money, be quiet, humble yourself, and fight Errol Spence
Now this is the part where I just think Jermell Charlo is on some shit. Whatever he was sipping on in the cup is finally taking this effect. Real talk. I just think, when they switch angles and stuff like that, I mean, somehow, some way, it's some shit being poured behind the scene. I don't know if he's on that 200 proof of Everclear, you know what I'm saying, with a dash of spritz or what. I don't know what the fuck. But to hear him come out and say, humble, be the challenger sometime, you know what I'm saying? Do what he say. It just doesn't sit right with me at the beginning of the end, bro. Like, this nigga tripping. Like, why would you demand that of another man to be humble? What is this H word? What does this H word have to do with life and conversation right now? It was a lot of humbling done back in the day when it comes to civility. It was a lot of humbling by force that was done. You know what I'm saying? Slavery wasn't a joke. But the mentality that I see with, especially the Charlos and a lot of my people, a lot of black fighters that's in this sport, they would tell another black fighter to do something that they won't tell a Latino fighter, a Hispanic fighter, whatever you want to call it, to do. They wouldn't tell Canelo to do that shit. Why don't they go up there and express that, to Devin Haney? Because they definitely don't have mentality to be humble. Sometimes you got to be the challenger. Okay, if that's the case, then how much are you willing to take to move up to face Canelo? You know what I'm saying? Are you willing to take 300, 400,000? Are you willing just to do what Canelo say, or are you going to go in there and negotiate like a sound mind? You know what the fuck you going to do? This is the dumbest shit in the whole interview when it came to Terrence Crawford. And I've heard even some YouTube channels sit up here and reciprocate the same rhetoric. At the end of the day, it's all frivolous when you think about it. For you to sit up here and capitulate as a grown ass fucking man, especially you have kids, you have family, and you'll tell your kids, be strong minded, think for yourself, set goals, be this, be that. But yet, you put interviews out here and you tell another fighter that's stepping in the ring, which early on in the interview, you sit up here and you say, oh man, I give them credit. At the end of the day, they step into the ring, they fight. And he made a point to highlight that he doesn't get paid, in between or whatever. They just have to go off the money they made, right? And then he highlighted his sponsor, the hat that he's wearing. So why would you tell Bud Crawford, who has several kids, right, who's basically competing in the same professional genre that you are, why would you sit up and tell him to go up here and lower his body below that bar and come into the negotiation process on his back and feel good about going into that fight with a guy who's competing in the same weight class as himself? He's competing in the same weight class. Crawford has accomplished more than Errol Spence in boxing. But yeah, Charlo's going to tell that man to humble himself. I think my people has that shit very confused of what humbling is. Humbling, in a sense, is an attachment to turning the other cheek. That's all humbling is. Humbling is a different way to bend over. That's all. Humbling is a way to say, get on all fours and please just a little bit longer. And then just maybe I'll take that in consideration.
People don't know how to do that. They don't know how to be the challenger. That's his problem. He can get too high up on the horse. Bob Brown don't give a damn about him. Bob Brown told him to his face. He didn't get a lawsuit with his own promoter. Why you want to say it to me for real? That means man, you really care about anyway. You should have just showed up, make the right decision with the people that love you, and then do what you're was doing it in 2010. They don't even have a system over there. Earl Spence right now is the most dominant 142 pound that they got. Because while he threw this stuff, he beat everybody in the position that he can. He's stepping on top of everything that he could. Throughout injuries, throughout tragic situations. Look at Earl Spence. Boom. Now look at me at 154. I've been through some things since what? It ain't never competing that what Earl can do. You know, I keep my head on straight, but you know, I'm trying everything I can. But I don't know what the future for me is. So I'm moving up because my twin brother is at 160. You see, we the three back.
That's very interesting that, he refers to Jermell Charlo as his twin brother. I guess that's a family dynamic that's internal to the household that they choose to identify with. You Jermell, your brother's Maul. Mel Maul, Maul Mel, Maul Mel, Mel Maul, Mel Maul. That's how we identify y'all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in this boxing game understands that you are twins. We totally understand that. But who gives a damn about the lines only moniker if you don't know when your brother's going to take that step up to move? Like he moved up from 154 to 160. Canelo vacated, became franchise champion, the first one. And your brother is where he is. So don't let the family hold you up. Don't give us this excuse that your brother's at 160 and that's a reason for you to stay right there, because you stay down there long enough, you're gonna get company, bro. Real talk there, Jermell. You stay down 54 longer than you're supposed to, you're gonna start getting some company. Ain't that what damn them coyotes do? They start snooping around, right? You stay down there on a kill long enough, you stay in that same area where you do your dirt. You know what I'm saying? Your scent is out there and everything else. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get motherfuckers come snooping around. Okay. Yeah, you look easy. You got Sebastian Fondora. You got Erickson Lubin. Them two going to lock up. And you got Charles Conwell that's at 54. Still got Hurd. Got Zoo. You have a lot of people that's coming up at the 154 that's going to want a shot. I don't too much understand what you and your brother conversation like, because it seems like y'all have the same objective. I mean, the same directive, and that is to face Canelo Alvarez. So therefore, you might be in the same situation that Abner Yildirim, Yola Murata, and Triple G. You're just gonna be hanging around for a couple of years, waiting for that fight. I would say more so Yildirim and Gennady. Just waiting around. You're gonna have to fight some soft touches, but now it seems like you and your brother are looking for a freaking payday with Canelo. You refuse to say anything about him that's extremely derogatory. You're gonna hear him talk about this shit. He called him a redhead motherfucker, something like that. But you're not gonna say anything and talk your shit. That's what's puzzling to me. Like, you lions, right? But you're afraid to talk about the one who's roaming at the top. Canelo must be a motherfucking goddamn dinosaur or something. Because we all know a dinosaur step on the motherfucking lion and keep it moving. He'll eat that motherfucker like a Hershey's Kiss. So I'm just trying to find out, like, are y'all lions only? Lions lonely, goddammit. Because y'all just waiting around for one fight. No, you have people to deal with. You have Demetrius Andrade. You have the David Benavidez. You have all these names up here. We talking about Jermell Charlo to move up and fight them. Vacate the belt and move the fuck up. I'm tired of the brothers who just want to sit around and hold on for a title. Y'all can criticize Crawford all you want, but when he beat Julius Ndongo, he moved the fuck up from 40. He didn't stay there, let me just hang out again. No, he went up there and picked up another strap, and the rest is what it is. Shakur Stevenson, what'd he do? 26, went to 30, waited a little bit, boom, got the shot with Jermell Herring. Now he's a two-weight champion. Next.
Bash Brothers. What happens? What happens
because it seems like the bigger fights at 168. Now, listen, we know that he and Canelo were trying to work out a fight, but it appears that maybe Canelo is going to do the Bivol and then maybe Triple G again at 168. Do you think the future for Jermell is at 168, whether it's Benavidez, whether it's Caleb Plant? Do you think that's his future, 168?
Well, I know my brother needs the best fight for him right now. It don't look as interesting as 154 and 147. The division could be really shaken up a little bit with the BS that they got going on. You got Andrade. He don't know what he want to do with his life. This boy been running around since 2014. Now I'm thinking like, bro, 2 more years, you've been playing hopscotch, in boxing. So we can't even count on Andrade to even accept a fight, So we don't even care about him. Then you make me want to tell my brother to don't call out some of them guys that Canelo's coming out. Knock them off. If you knock them off, then he ain't got no choice but to say, you know what, let's go and accept that under me. I heard that's what it was. I can't confirm anything. But Canelo, you was a stud. With no struggle, you go hard. But let's say we here to fight for our family.
This dude's all over the place, man. He's here to fight for his family. Canelo's a stud. All those nice pleasantries and everything compliment Canelo. Soft-hearted, kind, gentle words. You know what I'm saying? But you come to Crawford, you want to say the little boys, the light boys. Want to move up and everything. Your words are very calculated when you're talking about Canelo Alvarez. But yeah, when it comes to Demetrius Andre, he don't know what he want to do with his life. To me, that is confusion. His sense of understanding is extremely fragmented, bro. That's Jermell Charlo. When you have an individual that's black like you, but yeah, you have nothing good to say. Like, yeah, he might say that, he's this, that, and the other, but initially when you mention him, you're not giving him that credit. But yet you're telling him to be humble. But yet you're not humbling yourself when it comes to identifying the other black fighters that's not in your stable. You want to highlight your brother, of course, that's automatic. And you want to then highlight Errol Spence, of course. But to those who are challengers, the ones who are challengers now, and you say at the beginning of the day, we go in there fighting this for our families. If you know this for your families, why would you tell a man to go in there and do what he's being do what he says? Shut up and box. Go walk through that door and throw yourself at the mercy of Al Haymon, the Grand Poobah. Surrender yourself. Place your forehead on the ground. Plead. Beg. Do everything possible to come in the good graces of acceptance. That don't seem like a boxer to me. And it definitely don't seem like a mentality of a lion. Because usually when a lion is getting fucked up, they continue to fight until they get bones broken and they seriously fucked up to the point where they can't continue. This dude is every fucking where, dog.
You beat me, you better than me. Okay, cool. Can we prove that? Now, there's a reason why. And I don't know the reason why they're making a decision. But how about they split that same contract with the other guys? Be your free agent that you are. Accept one fight deals. Go on and move on with your life because you never even know what's next. Why you want to accept 10 fights and 5 fights and 4 fights? You are ready to keep in your division. You're the undisputed champion at where you at. And what I'm trying to become. I'm not accepting. And when I become that way, I'm accepting that same money for a 1 fight deal. And they can do that possibly. And I'm not trying to make nobody else hit my shots. And I just don't see 12 rounds happening with Ugas and Earl Spence. I see Earl Spence becoming the dominant guy and putting a mark on that BS. He closed out the division. Now he got some studs in the division. He got some young guys coming up. And, he got some old guys still trying to make a name for themselves. And what I see from Keith Thurman, that's not enough. That's not enough. Barrios came from a little way to try to get and gave him a tough fight. I need to see more from Thurman. Man, yo, hey, it's just the rule of boxing. Like, in this motherfucker, he can fight. He's tough, but he gotta make his name for himself. He gotta keep building himself up. He's a stud. He can go. He can fight. We just gotta see a little bit more from him. Danny Garcia, we don't know.
Okay, so he give kudos to Ennis, like a lot of people doing. He give kudos to Ennis. I wonder why. Is it because he signed beneath the promotional umbrella that you exist in too? Are y'all cohabitating as professionals? So you want to say some nice things about the brother? He a stud. Shit. When you look at his record, you know, he does have a lot more to prove, like you said. So people need to stop boosting him up and injecting him with, whatever they need to, as if his resume has spoken. He's going to be future world champion regardless. And he is that dude. But Ennis can't be that dude just off the eye test when you sit up here acting like Crawford's done nothing. And then if Crawford can't get the fight with Errol Spence and he suggests to move up and fight you, Mel, why don't you give it some type of consideration to fight your mandatory? You know what I'm saying? Because if you say he gonna end up getting knocked out, then that'll be a good name to have on your resume for a knockout, Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't that be something that'll be great for you to have on your resume? But and to me, I feel like you don't even believe that yourself that it's gonna be easy work for you, because somewhat the same type of fighter in Tony Harrison defeated you one time. What do you think a boxer like Terrence Crawford is gonna do? He's not gonna have a lapse in judgment or focus. He's gonna give you what you want.
He seems like he's in the same position as her. They lost a couple fights right back to back. I don't know when the last But then don't y'all want to see, you know, the Canelos and the Benavides and the Charlos, the top tier, the Velvet, whatever his name is, and the Austin guy. You want to see them fights right now. Like when you talk big weight, that's the facts now. Don't take what I'm saying and take it in. You know, I hope the fans don't take.
And once you become the undisputed champion at 154, what's next? What is the next big goal for Jermell Charlo?
I might want to shut up another hater. Maybe knock out another hater just to do it. You know, generate some wealth for myself. And my brother is at 160 and he's domain.
Who's that hater? You say I might want to knock out another. Who's that hater?
I got a lot of them, you know. I got some haters, you know. I'm going to just put them on the list. I don't know which one. You can name them all. You can name the haters that's coming up in the division. You can name the haters that's already. You got Lubin. You got Hearn. You got, Danny Garcia. They hating on me. You got the whole little 9 yards. You know, they all hating on. I got to respect the Danny. He's been in the game for a long time. I used to watch him.
That's about it with that. You know, apologize for the audio. Sometime on YouTube, the audio gets a little crazy without you even moving a damn thing. But that's about it with, that interview. It was a great one, in my opinion. The reason why I say it was a great interview because the summary and everything, right? The summary of all the topics, all the areas of the conversation that he was able to speak on was pretty much coming from Charlo, just expressing whatever he had on his mind and his heart, like he said. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty much him. So Brian Custer, he had an easy job. They did edits, they did some edits in this video and everything, but I didn't get what he was talking about with his brother Mal Charlo. He was basically saying that, Mal Charlo would be a very good fight for David Benavidez, but yet he was implying that David should move up the cruiserweight or even heavier. He didn't even really talk about light heavy because after he missed weight or he stripped his belt, they pretty much put him up there in the lightweight rankings, the light heavyweight rankings rather. And then I guess, his team had to petition and say, no, we're going to be good. We're going to continue to fight at 168. That's what we want to do. Now, that was a big question for me because I don't know what they was looking for at 68. What are they looking for? Are they looking for a Canelo fight? Are they looking to become undisputed? Because they really haven't had no traction with that yet. That's been all Canelo. Like Canelo wasn't even going for Benavidez when he was WBC champion. But once he didn't have the belt no more, he came in with the broom. Boom. He swept through the entire division, no signs of David Benavidez. But Benavidez is a threat. So if Mel is talking about that'll be a good fight for Maul and David, then stop talking about he's too big for the division. Stop picking on the little guys. Like that, I don't gather, your line moniker, but yet you have, a problem with size. You know what I'm saying? Your mentality is the X factor. It's almost like putting a little dog in front of a big dog. You know what I'm saying? Like some dogs get it and some little dogs don't. Some little dogs think they just as big as the big dog. So if this is going to be very a very complex situation, because in the next 2 years, I'm curious to know what type of moves Mel Charlo is going to make, because everything now is dependent on supposedly Big Brother. They act like they can't coexist in the same division again. Mal Charlo ain't close to damn unifying 160-pound division. Why he can't go up there and get a belt? I mean, what are we thinking? You can't move up? Isn't Demetrius Andrade saying he's gonna move up to 168 and fight for an interim title? Like you can't, after this fight with Castano, you can't just say, okay, let me move up to 60, and then your brother move up to 68. There has to be a shift or something. Like y'all was campaigning in the same division once before, so this would be a perfect time for y'all to move the fuck up. Y'all both move up the division, where hopefully Jermell Charlo can bring some energy to the 160-pound division. That's if indeed he's satisfied with his rematch with Castano, and then he can vacate the titles, move up, and give an opportunity for the next young lions that's in the 154-pound division to get a title shot. I mean, that's how it's supposed to work. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not going to be too long before, you might have the Terrence Crawfords, the Boots Ennis. After Boots Ennis pick up a title at 47, I'm pretty sure he's going to be moving up to 54. So you have Boots Ennis in there. I don't know if Keith Thurman's ever going to make that move. Virgil Ortiz might shock us some way or another and try to move up there another 2 years or whatever. However that is. It all depends, bro. Because we don't know what he's gonna do. If how this fight goes, we don't know. But there's a whole lot of confusion and conflict of interest in listening to this interview with him expressing himself. It just comes down to, like, I don't know, man. This is a venting session of freaking Mel Charlo. He only gave credit to pretty much Errol Spence and his brother Mal Charlo, but yeah, everybody else, like Terrence Crawford, he should just do what he's being told. Like he's a mannequin or something like that. Like he's a deaf mute. He should just go and just bend over backwards for the wrong reason and take whatever's being given to him. You got to be the challenger. Keep that in your thought process. He say sometimes you need to be the challenger. So let's see what Mal Charlo is going to be like. Let's see if Mel Charlo going to be like if they ever get the opportunity to face Canelo Alvarez. We're going to see what that is. Are they going to just be the challenger and they willing to just take whatever they get? Because that defeat the purpose of them even getting a fight with Canelo. They want to fight with Canelo for the name, and they want the paycheck. They want the payday, just like Andrade want the payday. Just like Benavidez want the payday. They want the payday the same way, man. That's why Errol Spencer called out Canelo. They want the name and the payday. Right now, Canelo's getting paid crazy money, and you think they're going to go up there and they're not going to try to get some fruit off the tree? Hell yeah, they're going to get some. Shout out to Showtime, man. What's good? Yeah, man, you did, bro. Oh, my God, man. That interview is draining, dog. Oh, Man, that interview was draining. I know it was draining for Brian Custer because he had to sit there and listen to it for real. He had to sit there and endure that. And real talk, I'm pretty sure after it all concluded, he probably had to go in there and pour him a drink. You know what I'm saying? He had to go lay back on the sofa. He probably was up there drinking some scotch. You know what I'm saying? He was having some scotch. You know what I'm saying? He had to really, have a drink on an empty stomach and just relax. After he relaxed for a good 45 minutes to an hour, he called up some of his constituents and said, "Hey, just had a very interesting interview with Jermell Charlo. You got time? You got a little time? Oh my God, it was very interesting. It was incredible. I want to say it's fascinating, but no, I mean, he was all over the place. But at least he didn't start using any type of slang terminology to the end. He didn't drop the, nigga too many times. Like once or twice some. Then he didn't really start dropping F-bombs to the end. But besides that, whatever was in his cup was good. You know what I'm saying? Had him calm, relaxed, you know what I'm saying, carefree. And he was able to get through the interview. Because if he would have reacted about them saying he was rocked by Castano, he would have lost his wits. Then people would have been on him on social media. They would have been talking like, damn, this dude is a ticking time bomb. But y'all know what it is, man. I went through as much as I wanted to go through. That wasn't even all the interview. I just stopped it because, I don't have time to call up a therapist right now at 9:30 p.m. and say, is there any way you can do a house call? I just need, just listen to what I have to say. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm sending them out to Houston, goddammit. For real. But appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. As much as I want to stay out here and indulge in the conversation about this shit, I appreciate everybody for pulling up. And I was gonna have an open discussion, but this went a little bit longer than I thought. But hey, y'all catch me tomorrow, man. Like I said before, sub to the channel, follow me on IG. You know what I'm saying? Check out the content. Appreciate everyone for stopping through. Dropping your input and everything. Till next time. Turn up and tune in to World Combat